Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brick Bios podcast. I'm your host, George. I'm here with my fellow co-host, my handsome Josh here.
Hey, thanks for the handsome compliment.
No problem. And not so handsome Jacob over here.
Now that was a bit weird.
And I have Tim here.
Oh, thank God. I was worried.
And then our beautiful engineer, Isaac.
I am beautiful, and so are you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have a
Isaac.
lot to talk about. There's a lot of tech news and gaming news. One thing I wanted to start off with a topic was new September releases. I know one big release that came out was the Hollow Knight Silksong. I know Tim was playing that.
Wait, Silksong?
Silksong, my bad. But I know Tim was playing with that. I know I tried the original Hollow Knight and it was alright. It's not really my cup of tea, but seemed like the new release for Silksong was pretty popular.
I was going to say, I haven't played this one. The last 2D side-scroller I played was Cuphead. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was rough, but I did
Last
like
one
that
I played was Mario.
That's you're dating yourself again.
Well, I guess
Wait,
in that sense, I
obviously.
also played like the Super Mario
Sega
Wonder in those.
Genesis.
So I am actually curious
Jurassic
because
Park.
it does look really good. It kind of gives me that Ori and the Will of the Wisps vibe.
Yeah.
I don't. It's not the same developers, right?
I don't think so,
No,
but
I
it's
don't
another
think
indie
so.
developer.
Yeah.
It looks cool though.
It's
and it looks
pretty
like
good.
it
It's got
runs.
a good a good score behind it, so the music's really nice. And I've only got like maybe an hour into it right now, but it's puzzle 2D based. It's pretty interesting.
Now, has anybody else heard about the controversy surrounding that one right now? Considering that like a lot of people are review bombing it, saying that the difficulty is a little too like high for just a I don't know
normal
what the whole
side scroller. Yeah.
From
Yeah.
the words of a soul player, get good.
Yeah.
Well,
I see one
that
part
was
people
rough.
are struggling on is like it's like a bouncing back and forth. I don't know if you've got to that, Tim, but
yeah.
that doesn't seem that hard to be complaining about.
The main thing that I saw was people were concerned about how health is different compared to the previous game, where now it's like 2 masks. Like the masks is the form of health in that game. And it used to be just 1, and now it's 2 for like basically every enemy that attacks you, or every source of damage is now double.
I did also want to mention that it is also getting review bombed by Chinese gamers over translation. Now, I don't speak Mandarin or anything like that, but apparently there's been some translation errors, which kind of caused some Chinese
I just read the
audience
the
to have some issues
subtitles.
with the game.
Well, that's the problem. When the subtitles came up, they probably said something that wasn't like
Right.
didn't
Yeah.
make sense
Correct
or-
saying, yeah.
The other thing I did want to bring up on Hollow Knight, it broke Steam. when it
Yeah, I
launched.
also saw it broke Game Pass as well.
There
like
was
the
so
day it
many
launched.
people going to download it and play it that it broke the actual client.
What was
So,
the player count? Did they catch
it
that?
breaks 500. It broke 535,000 concurrent players on Steam.
So how did that break Steam? Because I know Battlefield also had
'Cause,
high
like,
numbers like
I think
that.
it was
So did
the day it
many-
launched
yeah,
and
the
how
day-
many
it was
people were
all
trying
at
to buy
once.
Hmm.
Like, yeah.
And I know like Counter-Strike has a concurrent of like 2 million or
Because it
something.
was the same thing like with the Steam Deck OLED. When that launched, it crashed.
Yeah, but they probably didn't have the back end server count they needed to support it.
I just find it weird that it crashed Steam and not like another different server. Like,
But this
'cause
was like
Steam
a
should be able to
highly
handle that.
anticipated game, though. Like, they should have anticipated that.
It was basically the equivalent of like how a DDoS would affect a server, but it's actually legit traffic, and not everyone just had enough. They didn't have the space to account for everyone all at the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't played it yet. I'll probably get to it here soon. Silksong. I heard the first one was good.
Since it's on Game Pass, I might pick it up. I'm
Yeah.
still like you guys were making fun of me earlier. My game is next month. Battlefield 6 will be out, and I'm going to be lost in that one for a while.
But
So-
He's like a heroin addict.
It is bad. I'm sitting
He
there
does-
just waiting for it.
He doesn't have Battlefield 6, so he's scratching at his arm. Like, he's just waiting for it.
But honestly, this month and next month is completely stacked with games that have been highly anticipated. Like, 2K26 came out. The
Ain't
basketball.
nobody excited for 2K26.
That's still around.
Yes, it is still.
That'll be
Matt-
around way longer than we will. I think.
Madden 26 came out, and if you guys don't have time, I really recommend going to watch Angry Joe and his hour-long review on that game.
I watched that one.
It's so hilarious.
Angry Joe hates on every single. I thought he stopped reviewing Maddens because
He
says that every year.
He always says this is the last one I'm reviewing, but he always reviews it every.
Although I
it's
will
a tradition.
say I did watch his review, and there was one thing they did right. They added when you do a franchise or was it the Superstar mode? I can't remember one of those, but they added weekly recaps so that you can see what's happening around the league whenever you're playing.
Except the only problem was the highlight that they used for the weekly recap was there was only one highlight.
Yeah, and then they also took away like you can't be an owner anymore, and there's a couple of other things that they took away. So it was like for every one step forward, you get 2 or 3 steps back.
Hey, but
Honestly,
weather.
I feel like sports games are just like the same rinse, wash, and repeat every single time.
the big news, and he mentioned it, and we'll see what happens here in the future. As if I'm correct, this was the last EA Madden before their license ends. So we'll see if that gets renewed.
Well,
But I'm pretty sure they're already in the talks.
Yeah.
Of renewing.
Yeah.
So it's set
they're
to
in
expire
the
in 2026, but from what people are reporting, they're already trying to renegotiate for future games.
Oh yeah, I would, because they make so much money off of those. It makes sense for them. It's going to matter of is the NFL going to continue to get their contract?
Well, and I almost wonder at this point which company is one pushing for these, like, because this model is from our like a player standpoint, a consumer standpoint. This is terrible. I do not want to be paying $70 every year for what's essentially the same game, but EA keeps doing it, and I don't know if it's EA that's pushing it or if it's the NFL. It's part of the deal. Like, but whatever it is, it needs to be reevaluated because I cannot see how people continue to play this.
They do though, which is why they keep making the games, and they also have the trend of removing features or removing like game modes or removing something either to bring it back as a DLC or to just not to not have it there and then reintroduce it as like, oh, a new innovative feature, Apple style, in the next revision of the game.
I mean, maybe I'm just not on that side of the internet, but everybody I watch or anybody who plays games that I see, they always say the same thing, and it's that they've stopped buying Madden about 10 years ago.
So what was the last non-Madden football game? Do you guys know?
The last
I
non-Madden.
think it was made by like 2K.
Well, I was going to say there was a 2K7, and then there was also a Street Football 08.
There was
What about
before the NFL went and worked with EA and gave EA all the rights to NFL. ESPN NFL 2K5 was the last outside Madden world.
That one was also partnered
game
with ESPN, so they had a really good presentation for the they
on
had.
the
actually had
topic
that game.
on the topic of
that game
football.
was fun.
Did you guys ever play the game where you like break your leg in half
Was
in the
it
middle?
Blitz the League?
I think so. Where you
Blitz,
break,
that was a classic.
where you break your leg in half and they'll like inject you and they'll put you back in the game.
Yeah, that one was crazy.
I feel like they should make another game like that.
And from my understanding, though, is like the NFL has the rights to use, or EA has the rights to use the NFL, but you can go and make a football game. It just can't be with the NFL
It can't be
trademark
NFL brand
or anything like that.
Trademark.
So I'm surprised that another company hasn't come out to make an actual game.
I think the biggest problem that you're going to have with that is because you don't have the NFL name, it's going to be a lot harder to sell. Because, people go play the NFL, play Madden because it is the NFL.
They want
you can
the
play as
player
their
names.
teams.
and
You
all
got the
that.
player names.
Yeah, but I think Madden has enough controversy around it. Like enough people talk about how bad the business model is that there should be enough of a call for a new game or an independent.
There's
game.
definitely a market for it, but I think they'll always be held back because they're not the NFL.
Yeah.
Like you.
Well, and it's not like you can say that the Madden is like the better designed game. It's still using the Frostbite engine, and it hasn't evolved since I want to say like the 2014 Madden, or maybe even earlier than that. It's basically the exact same game, and it still has the janky animations and breaks very often, and there's no uniqueness to the animations or anything like that. It's the same game that you could have, I can go pull up Madden 2017 and it looks almost identical to 2025
Yeah.
or
You
26.
just have Aaron Rodgers on Green Bay.
Yeah.
Not with the Steelers.
I like how I try to bring up 2K26 and then we just went on a rant of how bad Maddens were.
Well, okay. We can also make the exact same argument towards 2K.
But that's like literally all sports games. You can't even lie. Literally every single sport
I will
game.
make the argument that the 2K NBA games are slightly better than the Madden games.
Because they actually make a difference to like the open world
They're
area.
not good.
They've recently, like, they're going down the Madden. Like, if you've seen their more recent games, and it started a while ago where they started leaning towards, you know, people are going to buy the packs or wherever, the cards, and then it becomes on the developer side of, well, you know, if everybody's playing this one game mode and they're going to give us billions of dollars, I don't have to do this work. And then it also comes down to one of the big controversies was with Madden. I think lately it's just been them removing game features, or like they'll add game features that people ask for, but they do it in such a lazy way that they're like, well, nobody played it, we'll just take it out. And it's like, no, you just didn't do it.
You didn't do it well for people to like it enough.
Like, was it 2K or Madden where the voice acting was so bad? Like, it sounds like they came into the studio, did
both.
one
I think
take.
it's both.
Because I want to say NBA
both.
did the Rising Superstar or whatever.
They always have like a type of story mode, career mode.
Guess
every
what?
year.
New Madden, there isn't even a single thing of voice acting. It's just text.
Figured.
There was
no, you're right.
There's like one line, but like in actual dialogue, it's just text.
Moving on from the sports games, here coming in a couple weeks, we do have Borderlands 4 coming out. I don't know if any of you guys are excited for that.
I want to try that one, but I want to play it with other people because I'm not like a huge Borderlands fan, but I did play 3 with a few of my friends, and I didn't really care for the story, but the actual gameplay was fun.
Played Borderlands 2 and it was pretty good, and I played it by myself. That game was kind of my childhood. I really hope it's way better than Borderlands 3.
I think I was gonna say, right now I feel like Borderlands has left a really bad taste in people's mouth, with Borderlands 3 not being that good of a game.
Oh, and there was a movie that
taking
came
forever
out.
for it to come out.
And then the movie that came out, was it last year?
And it was
earlier this
mediocre
year?
too. Yeah,
I heard it was just straight up bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I never watched it, but I just heard it wasn't memorable.
Yeah, I heard that was not.
Also, something. Oh, back on the sports topic, I know a lot of people are really hyped for.
We're just gonna
Wait.
jump on sports.
Wait, I just realized this. Skate is coming out.
Oh yes,
Really?
Yeah, Skate, the highly anticipated skateboarding game.
Let's be honest.
So are they calling it Skate 4 or
It's
are
just
they
Skate.
redoing it?
They're calling it Skate. It's a new game, but this is going to be the last game they're going to make for skateboarding.
Can we be honest? Is it the game really about skateboarding at this point? Like, I've seen multiple gameplay videos, and I don't think I've seen.
No,
a skateboard
have you?
Once.
I've literally every single TikTok or Instagram reel I see is like doing tricks I can do in real life, and they're just doing.
They're like
flips.
jumping off of buildings.
yeah, they're jumping off of
And
buildings
then all of a
and
sudden,
everything.
pause it. Oh, now I have a glider. Pause it. Now I have a bike. It's like,
Like, I watched a dude, like, there was a part where he just parkoured up a building. I'm like, how's this skate? He didn't have a skateboard once in that whole video.
I remember, like, back in my day, the Vanos crew, whenever they would play skate, it's literally just how can they hurt themselves in the most like spectacular or ridiculous way.
But I feel like that's what made the game, though. I feel like it's not completely around skateboarding, like kind of how the Tony Hawk games are, but it's
kind of
like
the ragdoll
Yeah.
physics that you get.
Yeah,
with
not
it.
all games have to be like competitive or like sometimes you just want something that's fun and wacky, and that's what Skate used to be. You know,
Yeah.
like I would say like Tony Hawk, because those are coming out around the same time. I think Skate came out a little bit later.
yeah, Tony Hawk
But
was the first one.
because you had the Tony Hawk games, and those ones back then were fun, but they were more like, you know, based around points and doing all these tricks and like getting these like the later ones were going on these side quests or completing challenges and stuff. With Skate, I mean, Skate was just, it was fun to just screw around and do weird stuff and try to jump the bridge and whatnot, like all that stuff.
and then you could play as like a piece of bacon. Do you
Yeah.
remember that? Moving on, I know you guys played. I have not played this series at all. Dying Light: The Beast is coming out the same week.
I played the first game like a lot, and I didn't really keep up with it. Actually, I did play a little bit of the first DLC, where they introduced the dune buggies, and I can't remember what it's called for right now.
I don't know. I just remember Jacob showing me that as like a little kid, where you can play as Mario, or like a Mario type thing. And
Yeah, that was a little
1.
Easter egg in the first one. So when you were in the second part of the game, there was a like a chimney, I guess you could find, and it would let you like
It
drop
would be
down.
like a Goomba.
And then you ended up on a little parkour like map that looked like Mario, and the zombies were like Goombas. So yeah, it was a cute little Easter egg. But the game itself was actually pretty cool. I think it's one of the best parkour. Or like it did parkour really well next to like Assassin's Creed, like, but this was in first person.
And I heard it really fell down in the second one because I feel like the parkour wasn't really there. And I know a lot of people didn't like the stamina bar that they added in the game too.
Well, I heard the problem with the stamina bar was that very early on in Dying Light 2 was the fact that like you would run out of stamina really fast. Like for a parkour game, like you didn't have a lot, and it almost like the whole point of adding a really bad stamina bar to a pirate ship. I was looking at you.
They needed to keep it true to Michael Scott. Parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and there was also some really crazy stuff. Like you could jump from the top of a 20-story building, but if you landed in a garbage pile, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stuff like that. That's funny. And
Yeah,
that's
or
the
if you landed
video.
like against a
Ubisoft
car.
does that.
Right, and that's it's funny, but they tried to make it more realistic, and it's like I don't want it more realistic. I like the weird, wacky physics of this game. Just keep the story interesting, which I also don't think they did in the second one.
They never really got the story down. No one
No.
ever thought any of their stories were good.
No,
It's all
Yeah.
about the gameplay.
at least the first one had the wacky parkour physics, and that was what I enjoyed about it. But when they added the dune buggies, I didn't really care for that. The second game came out, and I just kind of couldn't be bothered at the time. And now they're coming out with the third one, and it looks good. Maybe I'll try it.
I feel like with Dying Light, they made a game that's in such a saturated market for zombies. Like it's like the whole joke with Angry Joe. Hey, do you want to go play another zombie game? Like there's so many out there that what made them different was the goofy parkour.
Now, which game would you rather play, Dying Light 3 or Resident Evil 9?
Resident Evil 9. I grew up on Resident Evil.
But
I
you
feel like
see that
you're
now I'm
comparing-
helping Jacob's point, though, is there's a lot of zombie games out there.
I feel
and some
like you're
of them-
comparing very different games. Resident
are,
Evil has
but-
not been about zombies for like
Yeah, it's been about
years
like
now.
bacteria, corruption,
Alien, like monsters.
It's,
Like,
it's zombie. Like the first couple games were zombies, and then they became just
and it
different
kind of like
types of
margins
zombies.
out. Yeah,
well,
But it's still
but
zombies.
even in Resident Evil 1, it's always been monsters. Like you fought
Right.
a giant
they were
plant.
technically zombies.
Was the
So
plant a zombie?
The plants in Resident
Yes.
Evil 7 are zombies. The
but like when you play like Resident Evil 4,
They're vampires.
In Resident Evil 4, they're not zombies. They're like taken over with some type of bacteria in their brain.
but they come at you like zombies. They're just more conscious.
Well, they had like weapons.
They had like chainsaws and stuff. Like they were.
But
still
like,
Do you not
functional.
remember
what I'm talking
Resident
is like
Evil 3?
because then you had Resident Evil 8, in which the town peoples had vampires, but like there was a ton of segments that were more focused on monsters that didn't act like zombies at all. Like it was that whole, and even Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, the entire time you're getting chased by one family. I like the comparison, saying that like out of the two horror games, which one would you rather go play? I just think you're comparing
Like,
widely
wait,
different games.
They're same, a little bit. They're like same in the similar sense of when you think about zombies, but like different gameplay, different story, and different
It would be comparing like if Dead Island was also going to be releasing a game or something like because those zombie games or that type of thing. I don't think we've gotten a lot of zombie games recently besides Dying Light. I think that market's kind of
Back 4 Blood was an attempt.
oh yeah.
yeah.
They're trying to get the Left 4 Dead audience, but they
That did
couldn't
not
even
work.
touch what
Well,
Left 4 Dead was.
A couple honorable mentions that are also coming out this month is Silent Hill F.
First one
What-
based in Japan.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Was that the one like you're a schoolgirl?
yeah, you're a
And
screw.
yeah.
And then also,
Well, just on that fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and pre-order that.
I think I've always wanted to be that.
also Garfield Kart 2.
Oh, that one I'm
Are
definitely.
you
playing.
ready for that? And then the Dragon Ball MOBA. I don't know if anybody's excited for that.
Nobody's
You guys-
excited for another
That's
MOBA.
all you.
And one more is the Sonic racing game that's gonna have Hatsune Miku.
All right. Are you guys gonna be picking up the cat game? What's it? Garfield? Are you gonna- Garfield car? Or are you guys gonna get the Sonic car?
The Hedgehog game,
No,
I was
or
thinking
Brain Rot Kart.
Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny.
Oh, throwing up some
SpongeBob game coming out at the end of the month.
And
Now, I
also
haven't heard
on that
anything about
topic,
that.
RPG.
I was going to say, is that like
is it gonna be
Dungeons
like
and Dragons?
what's it called? What's it called?
Also-
Nicktoons and the Dice of Destiny.
and the same day that comes out is Final Fantasy Tactics, which
Final
is
Fantasy
a strategy
Tactics?
game. Well, I guess that should be clearing up all the September releases unless someone drops something out of nowhere.
Still holding out for October. We're gonna
Oh,
get
we're
there.
almost there. We're almost there. Ghost of
All my
Yotei.
fellow soldiers, we will be in the battlefield again.
One thing I didn't want to talk about before we move out from the gaming section was Josh brought what gaming universe would you guys want to live in?
There's only a few correct answers.
All right. Let's hear it, Jacob.
Jacob says he has the answers on this one.
Well,
let's
okay. I'm just saying, there are some worlds that if you say you want to live in, you don't actually want to live in. All right. If you say you want to live in Fallout, you're just straight up wrong. Nobody wants to live in Fallout. The games make it cool, but if you really think about it, you're in a nuclear wasteland, no clean water, no clean food, radiation
I
poisoning.
feel like the game does not make it cool to look like to live in.
I don't know. Have you played Fallout 4? It's very colorful.
Yeah.
But like when you look around, it's like this is
Do you not
terrible.
remember New Vegas? What if you're like one of the high up people at New Vegas?
But what are the odds of that happening? Though?
Like the worst place ever.
That's like if you spawned in Star Wars. There's such a little odd that you are force sensitive.
Okay.
That doesn't matter. The point is like, would you want to live in the universe? What, you don't get to like,
You don't get to choose where you're born. Like
but you have to
Born
take that
again?
chance. Okay?
born again.
One of the correct answers is Pokemon. Let's be honest.
Pokemon. I feel like
Why?
There's besides the
Dog
weird
That's why.
animal abuse. The only major conflict in the Pokemon games has been the mafia that they kind of don't really do.
also
that bad
they
of
have like
things.
a gambling center, a casino.
yeah, you can
You
gamble.
can go gamble.
You get to own Pokemon.
There's casinos
and make
here
best friends.
in real world.
Yeah, but like, can you play as them as a kid?
How is the economy in Pokemon universe? Is there like good job opportunities, or how is that looking over
See,
there?
this is where my
There's
answer
job
is better.
postings out there.
I think it would be good to live in Stardew Valley. Okay.
Well, because then you live on your own ranch.
All right, Josh.
Yeah, you have a farm.
Just go out and
It's
start a
like-
farm right now.
You live in a little. Small
You can
town,
do that
it's
now.
fun.
You don't. I can't have a Pokemon now, but you can own a farm.
Yeah, well, I
There's
wasn't
nothing
gifted
stopping
one.
you.
Especially in this area where it's mostly agriculture. So just start somewhere, pick a piece of land.
Yeah, but Stardew Valley has
There's
like
dirt all around, buddy.
yeah.
I
Hear
think
me out?
Flight Simulator.
Flight simulator.
The real world.
The real world.
We don't want to be
Basically-
in Forza just
basically-
driving.
All I can,
Hey,
I can just go fly around.
No. That
Gotta live
the
in
question is, you get to live in that world. Flight Simulator is just planet
Yeah,
Earth.
Basically,
All right,
what this
That
conversation
Good
doesn't-
job.
It doesn't mean you're a pilot. You just live on planet Earth again.
basically what this conversation has come down to is that any game worth living in is just the real world.
No,
Okay.
Pokemon. All right,
It's the real world.
How-
Just
Pokemon is sick.
Let me throw something at you. What about No Man's Sky?
Every planet is so
Starfield.
desolate.
Destiny.
If I'm in the
Destiny
Starfield
universe, that could be
universe,
interesting.
every time I talk to people, does it also zoom in on their face?
And
Yes.
it just pauses everything around.
What
In
do you
that
think
case,
about the
Elder
Destiny
Scrolls.
universe?
What about Skyrim?
No, Skyrim.
Very little
There's-
chance you're a
there's a-
Dragonborn.
Yeah, very little chance you're the Dragonborn.
Yeah, but I just want to live on one of those villages next to the river. I don't care. It's like
Until like a dragon comes and destroys the village.
Yeah, you have dragons. I feel like there's like
No,
the
you're done
devil.
for. Whatever.
The devil shows up in
Devil,
Morrowind.
yeah.
Like, there's always some
There's
sort
a-
of conflict going around.
Yeah, what about Tetris?
I think that's
just
just
gotta
the
watch out for
Soviet
getting
Union if
crushed.
it's the original.
Honestly though, after seeing the Minecraft movie, Minecraft ain't. It's terrifying at night, but I feel like it's pretty. calming.
I know the perfect game that Tim would want to live in. Wii Sports.
Dude, that's not a bad one.
Yeah.
Wii
Wii
Sports
Sports?
Resort.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not that, but you get to play golf for
No,
free.
but
you
you're
get to
actually
do
just
everything,
you're a
baseball.
tax collector in the Wii Sports universe.
There we go.
So
All right,
your
I'm-
daily
I'm
job is
down. I can go with that, George.
You would want to be in the Wii Sports games.
Wii Sports universe.
Yeah, anything else come to mind, Tim?
No.
Well, I heard you saying Destiny.
Oh,
like,
I said, what about Destiny? The Destiny universe. That'd be
honestly, I
interesting.
feel like I want to be in the Doom universe.
Doom.
Well, that's
You're
regular
not the
Earth.
Doomslayer.
You just have to get to Mars.
You're one of those guys that works at the front control panel, and he just like grabs the.
Hey, I would rather be there than
card
on
off
Earth.
him.
All right, I don't know if you played Doom Eternal, but Earth is not having a
Marvel
good time.
Rivals.
Marvel, be in the Marvel universe?
You know, me and George,
Not a superhero though.
Probably not.
me and George had a conversation about would you rather be in Gotham City or Metropolis? I think it also goes back to being in the Marvel universe. I would like,
You'd rather live in Gotham because it's like low petty crimes. There's villains that aren't going to destroy the whole town.
but like,
And rent's probably cheap, but in Metropolis, there's like villains that can destroy the whole world.
Like-
Like you got Brainiac.
like okay, Two-Face shows up, I stand a chance. Doomsday shows up, Like, I ain't doing nothing.
You got a 50%.
If it's like
chance
the
to
Dark
flip a
Knight
coin.
universe, like Gotham gets held hostage like every other weekend. Like you have to evacuate all the time.
But like,
Yeah,
imagine-
but like once again, Zod. All right, he's just beaming your face, melting
But
it
if we're being realistic, I feel like Central City is probably the best place to live
off.
at.
Safest and best.
Because you got
Where
the.
do the Teen Titans live? They don't do anything.
Are they Central City too?
No,
They're Jump City.
They're Jump
Jump
City.
City? But I feel like Central City's the best because I feel like no one wants to go against the Flash.
Yeah, and the people that do go against the Flash, like it's
Reverse
usually
Flash.
reversing time, and at that point, I don't actually notice anything. You know,
Yeah.
I move on with my day.
Well, I guess that's it that we're all going to cover for the gaming unless.
I do because we talked about it earlier in a podcast episode earlier. I did want to mention a little bit news regarding the Call of Duty movie that was announced. Some other news came out regarding that. Apparently, Activision passed on having Steven Spielberg direct the movie. He even came to them and said, "I want to do this movie." Activision passed because they did not want to give up creative control.
Okay, I might be movie illiterate, but what did Steven Spielberg?
He directed Saving Private Ryan.
Okay,
Like,
Why
they
do you
wanted
look at
the
me like
best.
that?
okay, I'll answer this one in my opinion because
hold on. Tim, I need you to describe the face you are giving George right now.
Just a look of disdain and disgust and disbelief.
Well, hold on. Let me answer
There's a
this
lot of
one, though.
dissing going on.
Let me give you my opinion here. My opinion on this one is that may be a good thing because yes, Steven Spielberg back 20, 30 years ago was doing really good movies. However, in recent years, his projects have not been, I don't even want to say up to par. Like they've been good, okay, but he just hasn't had something like that level of Saving Private Ryan or Jaws or E.T. or any of
He's
those.
the guy that made the BFG.
Yeah, like that's been a little bit newer. Like, and then they're good movies. Like Ready Player One, a pretty decent movie, but I don't think I want someone like Steven Spielberg now in charge of like a Call of Duty movie.
Yeah.
I don't want him like in. I don't. Want
I also heard Pedro Pascal as Captain Price.
No.
He has
tired
anxiety,
of Pedro
guys.
Pascal.
He has anxiety.
Oh,
Okay, that's enough for the gaming section. Let's move on to the tech. I know there was a big event today, the Apple event. I kind of wanted to get into that.
Today, as of recording, not as listening.
Yeah, today as of recording, the big Apple event happened today. But when you're listening, it's probably going to be like
I think by the time people will be listening to this, the pre-orders would already be out. So
yeah.
the phones aren't going to be out,
Yeah.
but the pre-orders are out. So we can still talk about it.
So we can go from how like the Apple event started. I know they kind of started off with AirPods. I just wanted to see your thoughts. I know they came out with a little bit different of a design, kind of like the normal stuff like battery life, audio quality, the noise canceling, which I personally wouldn't use. But I know one big feature that they were finally implementing. I know they're a bit late, but they're doing the active translation. And I kind of wanted to see your thoughts on that.
So they're adding the live translation. So the way they showed it off in the during the live is that it's a setting you have to turn on. So it obviously doesn't just do it on default. So basically turn it on. I think they use Spanish is what they showed. They
Or
didn't.
Italian. I think they did Italian too.
I might have been.
Oh, keep in mind they only talked about the AirPods Pro 3.
Yes, and from the looks of it, and they didn't say it anyways, but from the looks of it, this is only going to be available on the AirPod Pros 3.
Now I had a question about that. Now, why would it only be available on the AirPod Pros 3? This is so weird. I'm just gonna call them the AirPod 3s.
No, because then you'll think about the original AirPods 3.
Just call them about the
new
Pro
AirPods.
3s. Just say Pro 3.
Pro 3s. Okay, the Pro 3s. Why is this feature only available on the Pro 3s? Like, is the technology within the actual AirPods themselves, or is it happening on the iPhone?
What I'm thinking
You know what I mean?
I'm
That's my
thinking is
thought.
they're putting like a better microphone on the AirPods, which then takes in the input, goes and processes it through the phone, and then comes back.
I feel like this is something they could be doing on the older phones with the new iOS and with AirPod Pro 2s.
Now, my only argument for that, George, is the base AirPod Pros have I can't remember what standard they're set to, but it's about like hearing aids. They passed the standard. So you can't say better microphones because the base AirPod Pros have the standard for hearing aids, so they can obviously pick up your audio. And even the AirPod Pros 2 have the setting that if somebody's talking to you, they will mute themselves.
Personally,
so they know.
Yeah,
I think that they're only advertising it on the Pro 3s so people can buy their most expensive earbud product.
It's Apple, all right?
Yeah, it's Apple.
Because I don't see that technology being like implemented like within the actual AirPods. It's probably a program that's being run in the phone, and then it's just
it's probably
regurgitating what's happening
because there's no processing power in the.
Well, I guess the question
AirPods.
is, and I'd have to look into it, but does this setting, if you have the AirPod Pros 3, but let's say you have a phone that doesn't support Apple AI, does it work?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, most likely all that processing
because they're now pushing really towards that Apple AI, and the active translation uses the AI as well.
I'm kind of going to the next subject. Sorry to kind of rush this. Another big thing that the AirPods are also doing is the heart rate sensing.
Yep.
So that
AirPods are doing
yes,
that?
the AirPods are going to have heart rate sensing, so they can track your heart and calories burned during workouts.
And then now from that topic, we can go into the watches that they did announce. Not really any big changes on the watches. Kind of just normal connectivity, better chips. One thing that
larger screen, I think, too, wasn't it?
I do not know.
They brought back the O2.
I think the
sensor.
SE.
No, that's always been on there.
No. So they had brought it in on the Apple Watch 9, I believe, but then they got into there was a lawsuit that the company that developed it. Apparently, they weren't paying them to implement that feature in their watches. And so they had a lawsuit. So Apple had to turn that setting off. And so they just, within the new updates, added it back with the new,
no, you're good.
What do you call it? Software that they're using to do O2 sensor.
I know as well, one of their newer features that they're adding is it can detect high blood pressure.
That was a big thing that they mentioned was they're adding something so that you can get notified of chronic high blood pressure. And I think during the live they were estimating to at least notify 1 million users within the first year of this being rolled out. So we'll see. And I think the idea is that it's supposed to be.
It can also have the larger screen.
Yeah, and something about the sensors in it. So it's one of those things of like, I think they showed it off at the beginning about like how the Apple Watch is really good at detecting like medical emergencies and stuff like that, and letting you know that way you can kind of be ahead of that before.
I think my watch can tell if my heart rate stops.
Yeah, there's
they do have a heart attack thing that they can just immediately call the cops or call for emergency services if it detects like heart rate stopping like that.
I think as far as
they just need to add a shock functionality.
I wonder if they upload this all to like a cloud so they just know everything that
probably the same way that they do like the AirTags where it's all bouncing off of phones,
right?
Yeah,
and user license agreement,
which I'm totally fine with them taking my information.
I think the Apple Watch SE is getting their third iteration, which I feel like the SEs don't get a lot of attention.
But they're the low end ones that, because I used to have an SE because I was broke. But I feel like
still are.
Yes, but I feel like if you do want to have a watch and kind of be in the Apple ecosystem in that way, I feel like it is a good alternative. Because I know, like, I don't know what series they're on, but I know it's like a $500 price for like the series model, and then you have the Ultra model, which is probably gonna run you about $1,000. But they didn't really do anything for the watches this time of year. It kind of looks like they added like a little like 2 features and that was it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was the medical on just the base series cell phone with the chronic high blood
feel like
pressure.
they kind of misadvertise. I feel like a lot of people, or like the testimonials they got, they're like, this Apple Watch made me want to go work out. I'm like, there's no way putting on the Apple Watch motivates you to go work out. Like, look at Jacob.
Thank you guys.
Hey, I will say that I bought my Apple Watch so that I could start tracking.
But like,
my
let's say you were already working out before that though.
Not really. I had just gotten into going to the gym, and I'm like, I needed something to keep track. So, and
we had the whole discussion.
I had a whole
Garmin or Apple.
Yeah. So I had an old SE, I had like a Series 3 Apple Watch that I was using, but I wanted to get a newer one because there had been a lot of technological advances between Series 3 and I was looking at 9 at the time. And so I was looking and I was comparing the Apple Series 9 versus like the Garmin Phoenix. I think those are the ones I was looking at. The price points were very similar, but I eventually just went with the Apple because I wanted a watch that wasn't just a like a workout tracker, but I wanted a daily something I could use. Yeah, the Garmin's are nice, but I will say, like, for tracking workouts and running, your Garmin is a lot more accurate.
I feel
has
like
a lot more
Garmin's also look like watches, though.
Yeah, the Apple one is better for just every day. I can go to the store and use it to pay for things.
The thing I will give the Apple Watches is a lot of apps that come out are compatible right away with the Apple Watch, whereas like the Garmin's, they're adding in later.
I will say battery life is still a negative for me. Like, it's not bad, but I do need to charge it at least like every other day.
Supposedly the new watch, the Watch 11 is going to be 24-hour battery life. Obviously it's Apple. That's for like the first 2 months.
Oh, and they say 24 hours, like that's like with nothing happening on it. And
yeah, very. Like, and to kind of go back to George's quote regarding, I don't think the watch like helped you work out. I think you already had the mindset that you are going to be working out,
and you need something to track
it.
To
help.
The watch is a tool,
but the way that Apple did it was that the watch was the whole reason to do the work. Like that was it. Like, well, no, it's a useful tool, but. Yeah, to work out and have that mindset.
The main thing about a watch or the Apple Watch is the health and fitness. Yeah.
Yeah. But what George is saying is the whole idea that you're going to get up every day and do the workout is a mindset thing.
It's not an Apple Watch thing.
Apple Watch wasn't the thing that helped. That's my main motivating you.
And you're saying, and you're bringing this to a point because that's how they're trying to make it is the Apple Watch.
Just the way that they had one guy explain, like the watch was game changing for him because it.
Yeah, but all the functions of the Apple Watch are catered towards working out.
Maybe everything like about that $500. You spent $500 and it motivated him to go work out, but
right. But it's like if you're not working out, what does the Apple Watch offer you?
It tells you the time.
Tells you the time. You can answer phone calls.
I can go get a Casio that does the same thing. Okay.
You can take phone calls. You can
take phone calls, respond to messages.
I don't think I'm taking a single call on my watch.
It's a mini phone. It's a media controller. So if you like, I know people like to take their watches without their phones, so they can still see their text. Like if they're out running and you don't want a phone in your pocket weighing you down, they'll take a watch. They can answer phone calls, see any texts, anything important. They need to make emergency calls. Apple has that. Yeah, so there are other reasons than working out.
Compared to Garmin, they have that space where you can't take your Garmin
and sleep tracking. Yeah. Like if that's just something you care about, it off.
Yeah, but
there's a ton of things.
Sleep is still part of the health.
But like I feel like if you're going, I feel like the Apple Watch offers both best of both worlds. But I feel like if you really want to do only health and fitness, get a Garmin, because I've heard Garmin's are way better for tracking workouts, runs,
more accurate regarding vitals and stuff like that.
Like they're way more accurate.
I think it depends. I think, like I said, I was looking at the Series 9 versus the Phoenix 2. The Phoenix 2 is probably is it the 7X. Phoenix? Is it 7X? Is that the one?
That was the one you were looking at.
That's more comparable probably to the Apple Watch Ultra. And so the Ultra, I think, is the one that has you can link it to satellite and it'll do a better keep a more accurate
that's what
you're running.
Ultra does all that GPS stuff.
But again, with the Apple, the difference is that you're going to have more of those Apple features. Like my favorite, the only one that I use outside of the fitness stuff is like Apple Pay. Like I can go to a store and if it takes Apple Pay, I don't need to get my phone or my wallet, just tap it with my watch. The media, and really the other thing is like I can have my phone sitting and I don't ever really take phone calls on my watch, but it'll tell me the number that's calling and then I can either answer it with my AirPods or I can go get my phone, or I can just swipe it right there if I need to. But otherwise it's like and at the price point there's a little bit more functionality with the Apple Watch compared to the Garmin.
I feel like
if you're going to pay that much, I would go with the Apple Watch just because you get a little bit more for that daily smartwatch. But if you are focused on like the running and stuff, like if that's your main goal,
reason why you want the watch, I would go with the Garmin.
See, and I've even thought about going to a Garmin just for my run, like to go running. I've thought about getting a cheaper Garmin, like a $300 one, like the I can't remember Garmin special one I was looking at.
There's the Forerunner.
I feel like the main the main reason why you'd want to go with the Apple Watch is like how Tim mentioned, it's the compatibility, especially the compatibility with your iPhone. which is definitely they could just communicate seamlessly between each other. Just going back to that, I feel like they didn't really make any changes to their Apple Watch except for those small features, but I know we really want to get into the big boy here.
Now, I say, George, you switched over to a Samsung just recently, coming off of iPhone,
And I am happy I did, because they did absolutely nothing this year.
they did not just do nothing. There was
one
big-
They're making
one innovation.
their way.
there was a big
They're making
innovation.
their way.
And I think, I mean, do you guys want to really quick cover the base iPhone 17?
It's really the same thing.
Is
It's
there
like,
anything different than the iPhone 16?
It's going
on the
to
base
come pre-default with 120 hertz, which I know for the longest time iPhone would, like the base one was like always running at like 90 or 60
also
hertz.
no plus.
Yes, yeah. The base
Yeah.
iPhone is not getting a plus size, so it's only going to be the one size at 6.3. They're adding a new ceramic shield 2 on the front. Both cameras are a 48 megapixel, and then you're also getting that sapphire button or whatever. I don't know what Apple likes to call it, but
It's
The
like
action button.
Yeah.
no, not
No,
the
the
action
ac-
button. The
it's
one
like
that's to take photos and
the
stuff
one
like that.
that's next to your eSIM.
So the display, once again, 120 hertz. I think that's kind of the biggest thing. I know a lot of people had grudges about the base phone would like never have that higher quality, even though the chip that's in them totally capable of handling that.
Before we talk about the main innovation, let's go to the Pro first.
Okay.
Really, with the Pro, bad colors, hate the rusty color orange. What type of innovation is that,
Okay,
Apple?
So
Also, liquid glass, terrible. And then why would you make the top camera bezel so thick
Oh,
and
wow.
long? It's exactly. It's terrible.
Isaac, did you
so
see it?
to
I was thoroughly unimpressed
You
with
also,
these
you
changes.
don't get a normal black color. You either get stinky orange, blue, or silver.
okay, so
At least they're not the pastel ones. I mean, those ones look kind like are they still going with the whole titanium?
No.
No,
build? No.
No,
So-
they are
so-
taking a step back and going to aluminum.
So let me talk. Let me give some specs regarding it. So on the new Pros, they are no longer using titanium. They are going to be using aluminum for a whole unibody design. They are still adding glass, which for any listeners, go look at the Pro. I don't understand why adding glass if you're just going to make the body aluminum in the first place. I think just stick it all aluminum. That way you don't have a giant crack on the back of your screen. As far as some other innovations,
Don't drop your phone.
they're going to
Jacob.
have the A19 Pro, which is going to have a new vapor cool that's supposedly going to help with performance and keeping the phone, keeping the chip cooled so it can do those heavy
Does vapor
tasks.
cooled mean anything, or is that just a fancy?
It's Apple talk.
If
so.
I was going to guess, it would be like some miniaturized version of an actual vapor chamber. I would be impressed if it was, but maybe it's not. Maybe they're just marketing speak.
Maybe. They're
It's like when Madden says we're bringing quarterback DNA to the new game. That doesn't mean anything. It's just
marketing. So obviously the cameras are getting an upgrade. So they're all going to be 48 megapixels, similar to the base iPhone.
Not really an upgrade. That's still the same from previous models.
George over here with his 200 megapixel on a fold.
I have a fold and it has a 200 megapixel.
But
Not even a
What,
flagship.
George, what do you actually do with that 200 megapixels?
I think
Uh,
I think he's saying on a flagship there's better cameras iPhone's lacking behind compared to
do you
other
try to go
Androids.
take quality professional
Yes.
photographs?
now. I will make.
Any picture I take is going to be in 200 megapixels.
I will make an argument for Apple here. I will make an argument for Apple here. Even though they've always been behind on the number of megapixels, the quality has been better than Samsung's. All the way up until
their
like
processing's a lot better when it comes to
so the photo qualities are usually a lot better.
It's because
But,
it's like over processed.
Let's not forget the fact that iPhone uses a stupid codec that a lot of things can't see. Not going to mention that, but
you can change that in the
it is,
compatibility.
but you lose quality.
Yeah, but by default, they always stick to their proprietary format.
And in which
Right.
case, if you switch it, you do lose quality.
and
So
they
that is
added
something.
RAW, so that's a better way.
It's going to have the longest zoom ever on the iPhone. Not ever, just on the iPhone, which is an 8 times zoom.
Wow, that's rough.
well, on the flagship S25 Ultra, you can get 100 times zoom.
Oh, and then the other thing they're adding, and it's not just on this, it's on other phones, is they're going to have a mode on the camera where you can capture both your front camera and your back, which the front camera is an 18 megapixel. So I don't know who uses that functionality, but
I
now
think
you can take
Snapchat does that.
Yeah, you can have both your front.
Oh, wait. Staying on the topic of cameras, I hate the fact that when they were trying to talk about how good their cameras were, they're like, let's get some professional photographers, have them edit this photo in like Photoshop, and we're going to show you this and make it seem like,
I don't think they would have used Photoshop. That's Adobe.
They used, well, actually, I think most people just use Lightroom. I don't think Apple has a like photo editing software, but they have their own on their Photos app.
But like, obviously, if a professional photographer and someone who knows how to take pictures is going to take a good picture with any phone. You know what I'm saying?
So, as far as
George, why do you need a 200 megapixel?
Why don't you need?
I think George's.
What are you gonna go do? Are you gonna go sell this artistic?
Yes.
I think
picture?
George's argument here is iPhone always lacks behind, and you have phones like the Samsung, Xiaomi, OnePlus. They've had 200 megapixels
on a
for
folding
a long
phone.
time.
I'm able to get that. How are they not
Apple
able
can,
to put that on their phone?
But there's other things on the back end that those phones just cannot do.
Like what?
They can't keep up. They get hacked a little bit more easily. Not to say iPhones can't, but because of the proprietary.
That's because iPhone likes to lock their.
They
stuff
already
down
hacked you because it's all their system. But
yeah, iPhone.
I like the midnight blue.
To go on George,
or is that black?
yes, no, it's deep blue. So there's only 3 colors. You get cosmic orange, which I know George is calling ugly, but I do have to give Apple some credit
For actually putting color.
I am glad that we're getting some color. I know we had made a conversation about how earlier phones, the flagships always kind of look the same. You don't really get a lot of color on them, so you always just get, your black, silver, gray. I'm glad that we're getting something orange. It's flashy. It's something that, like, if you did get an orange phone, you can show it off and be like, look
look at my carrot.
Hold on. Isaac's got something to say. Hold on.
Well, sure, yeah, they added new color. The problem is they got rid of color to add the new color.
They do not have a black. There's no black.
Why would you get rid of just
What
a
was
normal
funny,
black?
when I got mine, I got the 15. There was I think 4 colors that you could get, and it was the natural titanium.
There was 2 grays, I believe.
There was natural
it was like a
titanium,
lime
white,
green or something like
black,
that. It was
and
like a dark
blue.
green.
There was
and
a dark
what was
blue.
funny is that they kept saying that they wanted them to it was just like it wasn't paint, but it was just like the surface layer color. And so it's probably the same thing now, but if you scratch like the darker colors, it is super visible because for my version anyways, that natural titanium started to come through. So if you had a scratch on it, it was like bright white color coming through it almost.
Well, the thing is, it's going to be the same thing. Well, I think it's going to be the same thing on aluminum.
Yeah.
The deep scratches. But so there's 3 colors: orange, deep blue, and silver.
I always
There's no
recommend
blacks.
going, if this is the case, I recommend going with that lighter, like probably like the silver, the natural color of the metal is probably going to be the safest bet for if you're going to run it without a case or you don't care what it looks
Because it's
like.
going to take more damage now that's aluminum.
Well, yes, but at
Just
least
don't drop your phone.
well, for people who have active lifestyles,
I run everywhere, dude.
that is terrifying.
This is in my pocket
Tim,
as I run.
Jacob ran no case and he had no phone for a week.
So for listeners, Tim runs his phone nude. He likes
He's
to
a nudist.
He's a nudist. He likes to streak with his phone.
Which pocket is he talking about?
Dude, where are your clothes at?
He uses the old prison wallet to hide that phone. So the other thing that they were talking about is this new ceramic shield that is going to basically, it's over the glass. It's supposed to be stronger, more scratch resistant. And then also, I think in the presentation, they also mentioned it's going to, similar to Samsung's, it's going to like kind of blur the light, or what do they call it, where light hits it, but it doesn't. Yeah, it's supposed to like diffuse the light, similar to like the Samsung Ultras that they've had for like 4 years now.
I mean, even the higher end Steam Decks have that
The
technology.
displays really didn't change much. We're still getting a 6.3 and a 6.9, 120 hertz. Camera control
Look
going
worse.
back. Yeah, that's the action button. So really the biggest change is the new uniform body, the aluminum, and the new vapor chamber. And obviously the chip going into the Pro, you're going to get the A19
Is that like the
Pro.
cryo chamber?
No.
I'm disappointed because I thought that maybe this is the year that they like finally came back at Samsung and made like an Apple Fold phone.
That's what I was really hoping
I think
for,
that's
but
happening next year.
I
don't
don't
know
know.
if they're gonna
I don't
actually
think
do
they're
it.
ever going to do it.
I think
Apple has made a like a following on this is the basic phone. Like it does what you're familiar with it. We're not changing too much. Even with the new iOS updates,
They can't ignore, but the thing is, they're a business. They're making money. They can't ignore the competition. So I think it's all speculation, but people are speculating that the Apple or the iPhone 17 Air, their thinnest phone yet, is leading into that foldable phone to come.
Stepping into the iPhone Air, now that we're moving over there, I feel like I'm actually impressed that Apple was able to innovate a little bit on this phone.
That phone seems horrible to hold.
So for any new, so if you don't know, the iPhone Air is the thinnest phone that iPhone has ever come out with.
Why do we want a thin phone?
I think
because they're setting it up so when you fold 2 in half, they're like, all right, now you have 10 millimeters, not just 5.5 millimeters.
They're finally stepping in the direction of, let's make a phone that nobody's used to from Apple. It really, like how Tim said,
made it worse.
But I said, how Tim
for
said,
a year
to go with Tim, it was. I think this wasn't if it really is a test to see how thin can we make it and then can we make it foldable. I don't think they should have released one half of the phone.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be sitting there holding it. It doesn't feel right.
Because you have to buy, if you want to buy the phone, it's going to be reduced battery life.
So buy 2.
So you have to buy the other half of the battery.
You didn't hear they have a magnetic strip that goes on the
So to go a little bit, the phone is going to be 5.6 millimeters and weighing in at only 165 grams. So pretty impressive. I do got to admit, I think that's pretty much the thickness. Now,
what is that in pounds?
Probably not a single pound.
We're American.
To go a little bit, and this is going to be my grudge. Yes, it is a really thin phone.
Good night.
The camera bump is huge. It
also
is massive.
The camera bump makes it look like a Pixel.
Yes, it does look. and I understand why they did the camera bump. It's basically that they need to fit the electronics somewhere.
Dude, I feel like if I put that in my pocket, it's going to crumple up like a piece of paper.
I feel like the
iPhone
iPhone
6
bump's going to get stuck on the pocket, like on the edge.
Hey,
Yeah.
but this one, they're keeping the grade 5 titanium frame. So
It's going to be pretty
It's
resistant.
going to be resistant on the sides.
Also,
and
colors are nice on them. The colors that they're coming
look at
with
that.
is
We
nice.
get a sky blue. We're going to get a light gold, a cloud white,
No
and a
stinky
space
orange.
black.
No stinky orange.
No, the gold doesn't look great, though.
But I do like kind of like the step they're kind of taking with this phone, even though they kind of took away half the phone's functionality.
What
it is
functionality?
The
did they
batteries
take
that they-
away?
battery, the
battery.
camera.
Cameras sucks.
So the cameras do look still impressive. You're still getting an 18 megapixel front camera and a 48 megapixel, what they're calling a fusion main camera. So
that just means it can do all the different lenses. Right?
Yes, pretty much. It's just going to be able to do that. I think, yes, to kind of cover it, it is getting the A19 Pro chip. So as far as power goes, we're still getting a very powerful phone. Now,
That thing's going to be like a space heater. Okay?
that is obviously going to be of concern. How hot is this phone going to
We really
get?
won't know until someone gets their hands. I don't know if the tech influencers have actually gotten their hands on it, but we won't really know until some people actually use it and see how
I'll
it
be
works.
watching the
So,
Marquee
I might
Crown.
see if I can. I'll go trade mine in
So
Actually, and get one of those.
and get the. Yeah,
and then
test it out?
it could be on the podcast. So
then I can have the fattest phone they had, the original, and then the thinnest ever.
Yeah, I feel like
supposedly
this is probably still thinner.
they're saying they can get up to 27 hours of video playback. Obviously, it's off of their testing. We'll have to see real world usage when it does come out.
Who doesn't charge their iPhone every night?
Well, the idea is 27 hours of video playback being,
Constantly
it's probably
showing.
not at the brightest. Everything else is turned off in the back. Like
Volume's turned down.
It's not going to be that accurate usage.
So
that
we actually need to put it in a real world.
real world
scenario.
testing. What does the battery? And then
A
obviously
George scenario.
I know.
I got it on
look,
my.
Look, I know Apple. I know this. Tim just barely learned this terminology. Apple likes to glaze their products.
it's
that
innovation.
term.
If you
I
watch
hate
the
that
if
term.
you watch the live every other second, it was this is how we are innovating, and then they're talking about how they remove something.
So,
Anyway.
so one question I have, just we're talking
innovation.
about this launch. Tim did mention that he's interested in possibly trading in for this generation. Jacob has an iPhone. He might be switching to Android soon. Josh, do you have any intention of switching to this generation?
No, I don't plan on updating my phone for probably.
no
I was
reason.
gonna say I had my last phone for like 5 years, and I'm probably gonna.
I only had
stick
my
with mine
iPhone for like a
another
year before
2
I switched.
years. I was gonna say I had an 11, and then I waited, and then I finally got the 15.
I usually
So
my turnaround has always been about 3 generations. Is usually when I switch.
Now,
I normally do
if
the
I
same
did it,
thing.
this would be the first time I switch. Like I upgrade the very next generation.
now maybe as a
I have
selling
not done
point
that.
for anybody who cares, the iPhone Air will have Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, and Thread.
Also-
I'm not too sure on what that one wins. And guess what? eSIM worldwide.
One thing I did want to mention: this
So-
phone retail $999
for the thin,
for
for
Yes.
the Air,
almost same price as the normal Pro.
Almost.
Almost the same
and guess
price.
what? They did show off. If you want more battery life, they are going to sell a battery that MagSafes
For
to the back.
$200,
That
probably.
basically gives you the exact same
size comparison.
of a basic iPhone, and you get 40 hours with the battery back. They took out the battery and sold you a battery.
They did what the gaming
That's-
industry does.
Innovation.
They took out the
That
battery,
is
sold you the battery,
innovation.
give you a worse
But-
camera, and said innovation.
Apple's innovation is let's get rid of something so that we can sell it to you again in a different form. Headphone jack, dongle.
Well, that was practically all for the Apple event. No Vision Pro 3, no any MacBooks, any laptops,
Now-
or anything like that.
I know you mentioned MacBooks. I did want to cover a rumor that's been spreading around, and Marcus Brown had talked about it on his podcast. Supposedly, as a rumor, the next Mac generation might come with a new version, which is going to be running the A series chip, which is the chip found within their iPhones, which is supposed to, obviously it's going to be weaker than their M series, and it's supposed to be a laptop that's going to start at $500. So it's supposed to be that cheaper. So, yeah, we haven't heard anything, but there's a rumor. So if I had to take a guess, we'll probably hear about it next year whenever they hold another
Yeah.
event.
But for now, they only came out with the AirPods, the watch, and the phone. But the only thing I see that they kind of made a difference was with the Air. I'm excited to see what they do about that.
Going
Good.
back to what you had asked me though, Isaac, looking at the future of Samsung and the future of iPhone as of right now, if I had to pick a new phone, I would probably go with the Samsung.
Another convert.
And that's just because they have the Fold, and that's
Rebel.
probably what I would go with because I
feel
like the difference.
Like I told Jacob before I switched to the Fold, I was like, if they don't come out with any better features on the Fold, I'm not just gonna switch to a normal flagship phone
well, and
from
I
Samsung.
don't like the way that the iOS 26 looks.
You don't like the?
I don't like the way it looks. I don't like the updates they've made. I mean, I'm holding out.
I have been daily driving the iOS 26 update. Obviously, I'm running a beta version. I think we're on beta 4 now of iOS 26, which it should be coming out here pretty soon, the official iOS 26. I've definitely noticed some complaints. My phone gets really hot sometimes. Like, insanely hot on the home screen.
Over processing that liquid glass.
I did notice a couple of glitches when it came to the keyboard and interacting with some certain apps, how it just kind of blocked some stuff off and I didn't have access to what I needed to type on. And then the other thing is, and I do agree with Josh, the liquid glass looks stupid. There's no way to turn it off. So it's not like, you want to go back to the old way it looked. No. The only thing you can do is turn down the transparency, but it doesn't get rid of it.
So they're kind of
it's
forcing it on
They're
you.
forcing it on you. And I know they did the whole iPhone the past couple of years, like the 18. I will admit they fixed the Photos app. They fixed it. It's now easier to get to your photos than iOS 18. My complaint was iOS 18, I think, went in the right direction of customization, where this one kind of backtracked in the fact that everything's now liquid glass. You don't have control over, and it kind of affects, because when I was doing my whole customization thing, I noticed a lot of colors just kind of sucked with the liquid glass on it. Like, it just didn't look very well.
And for me, I actually do use my camera a lot. I like to take photos. I do not like the controls that they've changed in the new iOS update.
Yes.
And I know you can change it to go to a more pro mode,
but it's hidden. It's no
ridiculous.
longer on.
It's
like,
so bad.
And then the other thing I noticed is on the camera app, going on to that, when you go to swipe to switch, it's opposite way for me. So and you'll have to kind of get your hands onto it, but you still have the options to get cinematic, slow-mo, all that, the spatial mode. But the way to get to it is just, it's not that great in my opinion. I do like the idea that they're kind of simplifying a couple things. But to go on Samsung, because George has the Fold, I really enjoy that Samsung lets you customize what you want. They offer I think they call it the Pro Cam, Pro Photo and Pro Video, which basically gives you the control of like what a regular camera is. Like you control shutter speed, ISO. Like that's something that I don't think iPhone really offers.
They don't even offer that right now. Right now, if you want to get all that control,
you have to get
go
like the
through a
Black
third-party
Magic
app.
or
Whereas
something like that.
Samsung comes on default. They make it where you can customize it, you can remove, you can add. It's a lot more.
However,
up to
I
you.
like the App Store compared to the Google Play Store. Now, I know the Google Play Store has gotten better.
The Google Play Store has rewards, though. I feel like that's a
but
really
I remember when I
good,
was
cool
on
thing that they
Samsung,
did
that was rough.
But how long ago were you on Samsung?
Oh, shoot. I was on.
Exactly.
I was back in high school.
Android.
Probably like 2012
Back
or
in my day.
2014.
2014.
Probably like
that's
10 years
10
ago.
Now,
years
Tim,
ago.
have you? Because I know you've had iPhone since the very first iPhone.
First one.
You know, and you were what 40 at the time when that came out. I'm joking. Have you
40?
have you ever touched an Android in your life, like daily driven an Android phone?
Daily, no, but
So you've always had an Apple phone?
phone, yes.
Have you?
Have you
seen iOS 26?
I've messed with. Well, when it came to IT side, dealing with management and administration side, Apple's products were easier to handle at least their iPhones and iPads to manage. Samsung and using the Android OS was just a pain to deal with on the administrative side for IT.
Mm-hmm.
And so that really set a bad taste for me, and I was like, no, I hate the Android.
So
now a question: have you seen iOS 26?
No.
Okay.
You'll have a different
I would be
opinion
curious,
once I
Yeah,
get it.
I'm very curious because
Samsung has gotten a lot better. Android, the OS in general, has gotten a lot better.
I think now that Google owns it. And they
Yeah,
can
with Google
dump
taking
the amount
over,
of money
you
that
know,
they can.
We've
into
dealt
it.
with Google
You know what else Samsung
Stuff.
makes? Air conditioners.
Tanks.
refrigerators.
I bought a laundry machine from them and it broke after 6 months.
You didn't hook it up to your phone.
Probably not.
So they bricked your washer.
Yeah, they bricked the BIOS of my washer.
No, but yeah, I would say the Android has gotten a lot better. At least since like I said, 10 years ago, and I've seen the stuff they've done. I've just been on iPhone at this point, and I remember when I first got a smartphone, it was a Samsung S5, I want to say, and at that time, Android was better, at least than it was more. I'm trying to think of the word. You could do a lot more with it than you could with iPhone, and so iPhone at the time was very simple.
Yeah.
I feel like
And now it's gotten to the point where
They're trying to
about
get a little
the
too
same.
complicated.
I don't think it's them trying to get a bit too complicated. I think it has to do more with the fact you're getting to a point where Samsung, Google Pixel, Xiaomi, OnePlus, they're coming out with these phones, and a big thing has to go with the way that Android's evolved recently, especially with Google owning it. You're getting, and then also I think another thing has to go back to price point. But regarding Android, it's becoming a bit more user friendly than it was in the past before Google owned it. And then, especially on phones like the Samsung, Google Pixel, you're pretty much getting the exact same experience that you would get on the iPhone. And now you're getting a bit more extra. Because going back to the Samsung, you're getting an S Pen on the Ultra. You're getting a 200 megapixel camera on the front. And then you also get the Android experience. You have a better AI assistant on Samsung and Google. And I think the problem now is you have iPhone that dominated the phone space here in the United States, mainly because it was simplistic. It just worked. All right, and they had the best. It was the phone.
They were the best.
They were
the
also
best.
at a time like it was almost like a fashion statement. It was
Yeah.
like you had an iPhone, you were like
You were
cool.
cool.
But like now you
I
have,
wasn't say rich, but it's like kind of.
but now you have two very big competitors,
Just
Samsung and Google,
and that's
they
been the
are
case recently
Yeah.
too. Because I remember when AirPods were first announced, everybody was making the jokes. It's like, oh, you just cut off the cords of your cable. But it's like you see people wearing AirPods, and it's like, oh, they're cool. They're wearing the AirPods, and they got So
I feel like-
But
they
now,
make a
once
statement
again,
out of everything
now
that
we're-
they do.
Now we're going, and then let me go into it. Now you have a problem of you had the Vision Pros or the Vision Plus, whatever they're called, came out. I think, in my opinion, it was one of the biggest flops Apple's ever had.
Do you not remember the pencil?
The pencil was pretty bad, and the Magic
The
Mouse or
stupid
whatever.
mouse with the charging port on the bottom that prevents you from using it when you're charging.
But like and going back to the fashion statement, you saw somebody wearing Apple Vision Pros. They were getting recorded on the side. Like, look at this weirdo. Like the fashion statement wasn't there. The usage wasn't there. And then I know we had to talk about how AI is evil, but from somebody who uses AI, and from what I've heard, Samsung and Android's AI is
10
leagues
times better.
above
Yeah.
Apple's right now. Apple Intelligence, because when the iPhone 16 came out, their biggest selling point with the iPhone 16 was Apple AI, but it didn't even roll out until like 8 months after the iPhone 16 came out.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, it sucked. And then they just merged with ChatGPT.
If I had a nickel for every time I asked Siri something, it's like, do you want me to ask ChatGPT?
So I think that's a problem. So
No, I don't want you to ask what the weather is like.
I think the biggest thing right now is you had Google buy out Android, which streamlined Android into an easier way of using it, making it more simplistic for the basic user, but still getting those detailed stuff that power users like from Android. So that's still an option.
Also, so your main complaint is like the new iOS is ugly. You don't like it. You can't really change it. Android has launchers.
Yeah.
Android lets you, if you don't like your default home screen and the way that you interact with your apps, change it.
Like Isaac has the most minimalist launcher ever.
For those who don't know, I have a Chinese branded 3-inch tiny phone.
It has to stay on the other end of the building because it interferes with our sound equipment.
So
but
it's plastic construction.
hacked.
It doesn't block a lot of the noise from the electronics. So I need to keep it in a drawer in the corner. That's where it is right now. But so the default Android interface wouldn't work on a 3-inch screen. So I have a really minimal, only like words for my apps. I have like 2 pages, really simple to use. I like it. Apple would not give me that option to change that if I needed to.
my argument though is with the
They're not
iOS
going to
18.
sell you a 3-inch screen phone.
Yeah, there's that. But
Well,
then with
there
iOS
was a-
18, it like you couldn't really change it, but it didn't look bad. It just looked like iPhone, and it was really basic, and it was fine. With this new liquid glass stuff, it looks ugly.
It looks like iPhone, but ugly.
It's iPhone trying to copy Windows Vista.
Now, I did hear regarding the new 26 update, I heard the biggest update and probably the best one that's being rolled out is for the iPad, because you're actually getting window tiles, so you can use your iPad more similar to a laptop would.
Or a notebook.
Which I know that was a big complaint with the iPads, because you have a really powerful processor, and it's the M4s, which is the same thing in the MacBooks. Like, they should basically be. And I know there's been a whole debate regarding should the iPad just be running Mac OS since,
Instead of
or at
like
least
the
have,
actual,
or do something similar to Samsung where you can enter Mac OS.
and go into like a desktop mode.
Yeah, because Samsung has the Dex mode on the tablet, which I use here for the podcast. It's a really great because I have the keyboard and mouse. I can use it like a laptop when I need to. I can just take off the keyboard, switch it back to regular tablet mode. The versatility is so great on the Samsung tablets, and I think right now, with the way iPad's looking right now, I think iPad's going to continue to dominate the tablet space like they've been, because they're finally adding that. But I think kind of going back to the iPhone and stuff like that, I think iPhone needs to be innovative, and I think they need to really show their users why they need to stick with Apple, because I don't think it's a matter of gaining users. It's a matter of getting people to stay. Because like I said, you have Google, and we just talked about the Google Pixel release. They're adding MagSafe, build quality. I mean, I know back in the day, Samsung's build quality wasn't the best, and neither was a ton of Androids. But nowadays, I would make the argument Androids on the really high end can have the same or even better build quality depending on the brand you're going to. I know the Googles, they weren't known for their build quality. They were mostly known for their software side of things. But I know more recently, and I've talked to Q, who runs a Google phone, their build quality has definitely gotten very good these past couple of years, being more solid, feeling more premium. And I know that was a big selling point that iPhones always had over Samsung and Android, was this premium feel, which I think they've lost now because you have Samsung and Google and a ton of other companies that have that same feel.
I think as we continue to evolve with these phones, I think we're kind of going the same way of consoles in that as they keep getting better, they start to just become the same design. Like there's really nothing different about them. Eventually we're going to get to a point where it's like iPhone and Galaxy are basically the same phone.
It's really just all operating system.
Yeah.
At that point, it's just like which operating system are you most comfortable with is what it really comes down to. But really good conversation on the tech part to kind of like transition out since we are running out of time. Going into our next segment, I did want to touch briefly on this because I know Tim did partake in this activity. I do want to talk about the Powerball that recently happened at the time of the recording of this podcast. And I just wanted to ask you, Tim, did you win?
I did. Not.
Hey, no, that's not what I've heard.
I think you won like
if he did, he's not going to tell you.
I heard Tim.
He would not be on this podcast. He would be missing. He would be gone.
I heard that from a little birdie that I think you won $2.
20% of your original investment.
Yeah. But that's cut 25 different ways.
But yeah.
So I think I won 4 cents.
Has there been any update regarding any winners? I haven't seen anything.
I haven't seen it. I just want to ask Tim if you won.
The only thing I saw was there was 2 people, one in Missouri and one in California, won the $1.8 billion.
Oh, they had the exact same numbers?
Yeah, exact same numbers. 2 tickets sold with the exact same numbers, and California and Missouri, and they're splitting the jackpot. So, oh man, instead of getting after a lump sum, it was like
$800 million,
$500 million after taxes and everything. It's like, I only get $250 million now.
Oh well.
What a shame.
How am I going to feed my family on that?
Yeah, what am I going to? How are you going to feed your family?
What, you just want me to starve or something? Like,
take it half of my food.
Well, I guess Tim's here to stay since he didn't win.
Yep.
But I guess that should wrap up this time for this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning into the Brick Bios podcast. Thank you guys for always talking and being hating on Apple all the time.
Hey, we still have Apple phones.
I don't.
I do.
Same reason why
I will probably be switching within the next year.
I don't worry too much, but honestly, phones are just they're phones. They're all the same. They're getting closer and closer to each other, and it's like at this point, it doesn't matter.
I would argue iPhone is currently taking step backwards.
Well, I'm still running 18, so we'll see what happens when it goes to 26.
But yeah, just kind of wrapping up here. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. I really am glad that we were able to film this for you. And yeah, thank you.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Night.
Yeah.